Hi. So, since my birthday is like in 11 days, I thought I should get moving on this long list of songs that I want to talk about. So, like last month or so, I decided that I thought it would be fun to talk about 38 songs based on my age, or what I will be, 38 songs that I love. So this is not a ranking, this is not like a top 10, like a top 38 or whatever. This is just 38 songs that I like. Um, just randomly, right? So again, it's not a countdown or anything. I'm just talking about songs that I enjoy because I am turning 38 and I thought um, I like to do things on my birthday kind of based within the number and everything. I think when I turned 25, I did like 25 facts about me or something like that, or maybe that's when I was 30. I can't remember. Um, but I just like to do, like little lists like that and everything, just something fun, right? So I'm gonna do these in three sets of 10, and then like the last one's gonna be like 8 songs. And I'm going in 1 through 38, but again, they're not really ranked. I just what came to mind at first for what I want to talk about. So at number 1 is My Immortal by Evanescence. So the first Evanescence song I heard was Bring Me to Life, which is also a really good song. Because we were watching, somebody had like Daredevil and DVD or whatever, and then, there's the Bring Me to Life video and everything. And that's the first time that I had ever heard Evanescence. And then I think My Immortal is also on that soundtrack as well, if I remember correctly. So I think that was in the movie too. And when I heard that song, oh my God, that became like my favorite song, period, for the longest time. If I had to pick like a favorite song, like a go-to, that's probably still at the very top. I just love the emotional lyrics, and the video is excellent too. I don't really care too much about music videos. I could take her or leave them usually, but that one was really well done. And I think if you pay attention to the lyrics and everything, it really does fit with, what the song is supposed to be about. And the song basically is about grieving and loss and, how that person, you lost took, essentially a part of you and everything. And you still can feel them around you, whether it be like, in memory or, just, um, well, yeah, I guess memory would be like a good thing, right? Like reminders and everything. And it kind of conveys like this story, this message about a person who in one way wants to keep that part of that person that was important to them, but at the same time it hurts that they can't really be with them like physically and everything and in real life. So they kind of also want it to go away. It's kind of like that, um the two sides of like memory and grief and everything, where you don't want to forget, but also it kind of hurts to remember too. And it's just a beautifully done song. I prefer the band version because I really like that big instrumental at the end. I think it really kicks in that emotion. Um, Number 2 is Thank You by Dido. Dido is my favorite music artist. I do love other bands and everything. Like um, I really got into like Florence and the Machine a lot in these last few years. I consider that my favorite band because while most of it is Florence Welch, she does have a band technically. So Dido's my favorite music artist. Florence is my favorite band. Um, I would also say Paramore is pretty much up there too in favorite bands. But I first heard, I can't really remember if I've heard Stan first or Thank You. I'm pretty sure I heard Thank You first, and then Stan, which is the song she did with Eminem that the chorus is taken from the first verse in Thank You. So that was pretty interesting as well. But I liked pop music when I was, younger. So I like Britney Spears and NSYNC, that kind of stuff. But I also like stuff like Enya and Jewel and stuff like that. And I like meditation music, yoga, new agey kind of stuff. And so when I heard Thank You, it was almost kind of a good balance between that stuff, right? It had like that kind of new agey feel to it, but not so much like meditation music, but also had like an interesting kind of like, I guess you would say drum beat and like instrumental like guitar and everything with it. Like the instrumentals and everything were really good. Um, it just had like a really good flow, and I love the message of the song. About somebody that could turn a bad day around. You're not doing good at work, you ain't paying your bills, you've been drinking, all that other stuff. There's just so much going on, so much stress, and then there's that one person that can just like make that day good, right? And she wrote it for her ex, but I do like the fact that it's written in a way where it doesn't have to be about a romantic partner, right? I mean, it could be about your dog, if your dog makes you smile after a hard day, right? So it's not really written in a romantic way. It really is just a song about appreciating that person that could, as she says in the song, uh, giving me the best day of my life, right? And I really hate the fact that now Dido is kind of known as like this, um, I would say, soft music artist, I guess, in a way, because Thank You, while it's not like Britney Spears pop and it's not like heavy metal or anything, it does have a good flow and a good beat to it, in my opinion. It's not, it's a basic pop song, in my opinion. Really, I'd say Dido is more chill. She's only had like two really soft albums. Because No Angel is kind of a mix of pop, soft rock, new agey stuff. And then, you had Girl Who Got Away, which is so far my favorite album. And it's got really a good mix of genre in there. It's soft, it's, upbeat at times and everything. So, yeah. I think people really gave her a hard time with just those two albums, which Safe Trip Home and Life for Rent are still very well written. Now we are going into a softer song, and that is Almost Lover by Fine Frenzy, who is now Alison Sudol, or Sidol. I'm not really sure how you're actually supposed to pronounce her name. But I first seen Almost Lover, I think on VH1. When I was younger, because this came out, I think, like, either the year my son was born or the second year. The year after he was born, I meant to say, so like 2006 or 2007, one of those. And I used to like listen to like a lot of music like early in the morning and everything, and this came on, and again, much like My Immortal, I really did like this video because again, I think it really conveyed like the message of the song and everything. This one is just so heartbreaking. You really feel for her, and she does like a lot of rhyming. It's very poetic, right? It's basically about a girl whose love did not love her back, basically, right? But the opening is one of my absolute favorites. It goes, if I'm remembering the lines correctly, your fingertips across my skin, the palm tree swaying in the wind. Images. You sang me Spanish lullabies, the sweetest sadness in your eyes. Clever trick. So, I know, I just really love that, especially that last line, because I think that's happened to so many people where, the person turns out to not really love you or be somebody totally different. But yeah, it's soft, it's heartbreaking, and her voice sounds beautiful in that song. Number 4 is Only for a Night. So the first song I heard by Florence and the Machine was Heavy in Your Arms, which is also a really good song from, I think it was Eclipse. I think the third Twilight movie, but don't quote me on that. It's one of the Twilight movies. And you know what? I'm just gonna say I found my favorite band through Twilight. Okay, I read the first Twilight book. I might eventually finish the series because I want to finish series. I saw the movies. The movies aren't terrible. They're good for what they are. They had good music in them. And when I moved to Minnesota, I think I was just like on YouTube listening to different ones. Checking out artists from things like movies and stuff, or things I heard before, and I went back and checked out more from Florence and the Machine. And Only for a Night is the first song on their sophomore album, Ceremonials. And I like that better than Lungs, and so I decided just to buy that one off, hearing a couple of songs. And I love the whole thing. The whole thing is very theatrical and everything, and dark and emotional. But Only for a Night is it's an excellent opener. Like I said, it's very large. It's very powerful. Again, kind of theatrical. But it's also very emotional and everything. So it is about, or it's based on a dream she had when I think she was like in her tour camper or whatever you want to call it, um, about her grandmother coming to her because she had lost her grandmother when she was like, I don't know, I think 11 or something they had said. Um, so yeah, she had a dream about her grandmother who passed on, and I guess the grandmother was giving her practical advice. That's what the song is about. Um, her being visited in a dream, getting practical advice. The song goes, and I heard your voice as clear as day, and you told me I should concentrate. Um, it was also strange and so surreal that a ghost could be so practical only for a night. Number 5 is Crush, Crush, Crush. I just love the energy of this song. I love Hayley Williams' voice. According to Paramore, this is about the dark side of a crush. And yeah, I just like I said, I like the vocals. I like the passion in the song. It's really good, just like basic rock song, right? Um, Paramore just has like really interesting lyrics and everything. Um, I think she's an excellent singer, excellent songwriter. They convey a lot of emotion. Um, it's one of those songs that just are kind of fun to sing along with. Number 6 is Clear the Area by Imogen Heap. I like the way this one starts out because it starts out kind of um, soft in a way, and then it kind of like picks up. Almost like not exactly the same, but if you've listened to What Kind of Man by Florence and the Machine, this one isn't as soft as that one, and it doesn't have like that rock bass, but if you listen to them, you'll know what I'm talking about. This one, in my opinion, because I've read different opinions about songs and everything, and I have to agree when people say it's basically about her having this friend who maybe is going through something like a depression or a breakup or something like really bad happening. They're just kind of like in this dark space, and how she is letting them know that she's given them space, but she is still there for them. I just really love the lyrics. I just love the singing and how she's using her voice and how it goes from that slow flow up into that kind of more upbeat kind of thing without losing that emotion. It starts out kind of like sad, but kind of gets to that, I don't know, important message kind of thing. Like, again, sometimes like a beat, in my opinion, can make things even sadder. It kind of like ups that emotion. It really depends on the song. And then Frou Frou, which is a duo that Imogen was in. They had like one album, but it was really good. One of the songs called Let Go is a beautiful song, and I agree with people when they say it's basically about um, kind of just, you know, learning that mistakes are necessary, that, as she says in the song, there's beauty in the breakdown, right? Um, so, there's a lot you can learn from just being human, making mistakes and everything. And again, it's just like a great song to sing along to and just kind of like lay down and just like contemplate life with. Then there's Eva by Nightwish. So I discovered Nightwish like, I don't know, 2005 or whatever. And Taria was still with them at the time, but when I picked up Dark Passion Play, I didn't know, because I wasn't like well versed in the band, that she had left and they replaced the singer. And I think Annette did pretty good on that album. They made like two with her. But I feel like the later Nightwish, especially with like Annette, is more storybook like, and that's what this song reminds me of. Reminds me of like a story, right? Kind of like a story, a folktale, something like that, right? From what I get out of this song, it is about a girl named Eva who has maybe experienced not so nice things in her life. Maybe people didn't really treat her well, but she still has this hope for humanity, right? She still goes on. And it's just a very beautiful song. It's one of their softer songs because Nightwish is considered a symphonic metal band. But it is one of their softer songs. It picks up a little bit with the guitar and everything, and some of the other instrumentals and whatever at the end and everything. But yeah, it's one of my favorite Nightwish songs ever. Number 9 is 400 Lux by Lorde. I think Lorde, in a way, kind of like artists like Tori Amos, writes a lot of metaphorical things, especially like in her earlier stuff, where you don't always know what she's talking about, but at the same time, you kind of get it, and you'll get it if you listen to the music. So, I just love the opening music to this, and then how the beat picks up and everything. It has like a really good. It just really has good background music and everything. And again, this is they talk about driving and everything, and I think like if you were driving or on a walk, this feels like a very um movement music kind of thing, right? So it's almost like it's very just hard to, I wouldn't say hard to relax to it in a way, but it's kind of like one of those songs that just flow where you have to be flowing at the same time, if you get what I mean. So again, if you want to drive or a walk or a bike ride or something, I think if you were just out, like moving, experiencing the world around you, this is like one of those songs that should be on your playlist. Um, and Lorde just has this way of singing about like mundane things, right? Like life and everything. But she sings it in a way where again, it's kind of, it might be cliche or whatever to say, oh, I relate to this or whatever. But again, she really does sing about like a lot of realistic topics and everything. And she sings in a way that makes you kind of nostalgic about things that you've experienced, right? Like friendships and hanging out and um, just experiencing life and everything. But this one I think is just about friends hanging out and enjoying each other's company. That's what people um, said online. That's what they thought it was. Just about people hanging out and just having fun together and everything. From what I read, 400 lux is like, I think, the light or something of the sun and sunrise and sunset. So basically, just, spending the day with somebody. And then we have Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. So I'm not well versed in 21 Pilots. I'm getting more into their music, but I really like the song. I don't know if you would consider it rap. I guess some parts of it is, and then they're singing. But the song basically is about how becoming an adult in a lot of ways can be soul crushing. Like how you grew up thinking that you were going to have it easy as an adult and everything. And then once you become an adult, you become even more insecure. And, you have to give up a lot of your dreams because you have to pay bills and support yourself and everything. And yeah, you lose a lot of hopes and imagination and everything. And sometimes you just kind of want to go back to the time where you know, played rocket ship and had tree houses and whatever else people did, all kinds of things that people did as kids, right? Um, but yeah, that is 10 songs that I really love, and I will be doing more videos like this. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. Bye bye.